A minute, brother.
Yeah, man. It's been a minute.
Yes,
But
sir.
it-
Yes, sir.
All right, well, we are live. We are BRAP. We have some exciting news to discuss today. Microsoft backed up that Brinks truck with $7.5 billion. Yes, I said $billion in a cash transaction. They've acquired Zenimax, Bethesda Studios, Arkane Studios,
Ooh!
everything under that umbrella. It's
Say it again. Say it
yeah,
again.
Arkane, Bethesda. I mean, id Software. What? So we're gonna talk about that right now. All right, everyone. Welcome to this BRAP rant. We got two special guests this evening, or I should say this late afternoon. We have, well, let me just say his long overdue return to BRAP. We have Lord King from the ILP. King, hey, man, welcome back to BRAP. It has been a minute. Happy you could join us today to talk about this great news.
Oh, you damn sure know I was gonna miss this for my life. Yo, guess who showed up today? Mario.
Mario.
Yeah, you know, Nintendo extorting people as usual, and I'm part of the extortion process. Here I am in the flesh. But yes, of course, you know, you ring the bell, and I definitely picked up the call for sure. Now, if you hear any noise in the background, that's the dryer over there, because you know, usually the king is asleep right now because he worked nights. But let's do it.
No doubt, King. Always a pleasure to have you on, man. And we have the Ash and Luca, who reached out to me at DM. She's like, "BRAP, can I come on?" I said, "Absolutely." So we have the Ash and Luca on with us. Luca, welcome back to BRAP.
Yes, 'tis I, the Ashen one, the Ashen bot, the Scum Lord. Okay, hashtag LOS Legion of Scum, baby. All right, it's our time. Okay, finally, I can just go as crazy as I want to about Xbox. I've been doing it since last week. I've been acting up, and I am loving it for myself. I love this for me. It's amazing. Yes.
No doubt. Can we get an Xbox, baby? Can we get
Xbox, baby? Yes.
And we have our regular BRAP panel member, B Money 101. B, what's going on, man?
Hey, not much, man. Another crazy day in the game industry, man. I'm loving it. This is the aggressive Microsoft I've been asking for. So let's get to it, man.
I gotta say, when I woke up this morning, and I was flipping through Twitter. Luca, you were the one who actually tipped me off to this deal. You said some of the fact that I hope that Fallout or something could be like better now that Microsoft owns ZeniMax. I'm like, wait a minute.
I hope they stop releasing broken games, but whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I looked at I'm like, what? I'm like, what? So and I found the article, and it's funny, King. I don't know if you talked to Cog today on the phone or on
nah, he's on vacation.
Yeah, so he's on vacation, right? I call Cog up 9 o'clock in the morning. It's 6 a.m. his time, right?
Yeah, he waking people up out of their bed.
Yeah, because I'm excited. I'm like, yo, this is huge. Cog doesn't pick up, calls me back a minute later. It's like, BRAP, what's going on, man?
Exactly.
What's up? I'm like, Cog, did you hear it? He's like, what? And then he's like, looking at Twitter. He's like, oh my god. And then he wakes up, right? Cog wakes up, and we're like, oh my god, we couldn't believe this happened. And King, I wanted to have you on the show, man, because you, sir, have been preaching for months upon months that Microsoft was going to make big moves. You said Phil is Phil Dominus Maximus Spencer, soon to be Aurelius.
No, he's Aurelius. He's been Aurelius. He's been Aurelius since last week. If you listen to IOP, I told you he was Aurelius because of he beat Sony in price and he beat Sony in power, and he said he was going to do that, and people didn't believe he was a man of his word. And I told you he wasn't playing, and people was telling me, Sony's out here shopping. Sony's out here. I'm so afraid. I was like, They're going shopping with dollars. It's going to strip clubs with quarters in their pocket. I told you exactly what they was doing. They wasn't going to the VIP section. Phil shops, he shuts down the mall. It's a different thing. It's like you saw a different way of shopping. You saw a grab bag of things that we get a little bit of here, exclusive here. We get a Spider-Man here and a little thing here. And we're buying studios. We're buying your favorite studios. The studios you love the most. Elder Scrolls, got that. Fallout, got that. Doom, got that. You like Wolfenstein? Got that. Quake, oh my God. Yo, listen, man. Is a difference between waking up a giant, bothering the gorilla in the room, talking this AAA. Yeah, I don't got no. What happened now? We got games now. What happened now? Games is there now. But see, it really ain't about Sony. I don't even want to make it about Sony because I told you before, like Phil said, the competition is none. It's not them dudes. They're looking at Stadia. They're looking at Google. They're looking at Amazon. They're looking at people with deep wallets. Billionaires only look at other billionaires. They don't look at millionaires. There's a difference. There's a huge difference. So again, when I was explaining on Boom, because I was jogging today, right? I was in my 8th mile of jogging. And Boom hit my line. And he's yelling to high heaven. He's here.
Yeah.
King, check it. King, they did it. And this is stuff that we knew about in the background, right? And when stuff is talked about in the background, I really don't like to talk about it because sometimes it happens, sometimes it won't. Some things is on the table. Remember, TGS is this week Thursday, guys. And remember, Phil went shopping in Japan. Oh, that's the end of the dryer.
I thought that was Phil calling you.
Samsung joint?
Yeah. You know the Samsung joint. Yeah, I'll probably be playing Cuphead on it later. Anyway, the way Phil moving, right? So it's really, this is really chess. This is not checkers, right? So the moves you see now really has a cascading effect on doing things in the future, limiting people's movements, right? So a lot of people are saying, oh, well, these games, because that's kind of messed up. Y'all wasn't saying that when they purchased the Spider-Man developer. This ain't messed up. This is business. This is war. But see, there's a difference when you corner off a huge section from a company than a single game or 2 games, right? And it's about their service. It's about Game Pass becoming larger than Netflix. Why shouldn't it be larger than Netflix? Video games is the largest entertainment medium, larger than movies, larger than anything else, larger than Broadway. It's the largest entertainment medium. We are here now. So why wouldn't the best service give the best value and have the most customers? So that's what they're trying to achieve. They're trying to eclipse Disney type numbers on Disney Plus numbers, which is very hard. But in doing so, you get deals like with Samsung, which you're putting your app in every new phone. So when the new customer picks up their phone, they see the app, and that's a potential customer for xCloud. You see, xCloud is a new vehicle in launching you into a different direction. Samsung televisions launched now comes with Game Pass. So when you launch that, that's a new customer. So we're at a different forefront in a medium that's supposed to grow. Now, do the other two fold, or do they fight harder and try to match them in services? I hope so, because it changes the way we interact with the medium. And I think right now is the greatest time and the best news that you can hear, because I think this changes how we view and how other people around the globe view video games, because it's going to turn into an earthquake in changing the narrative going forward.
Yeah, well said, King. And I will say this: I will add Caesar to the end of Phil Maximus, or Aurelius Spencer. I'll throw the Caesar in there because that's. I mean, this is an earth-shaking move for them to acquire Zenimax. And if for those who are not familiar with Zenimax, I think most of us are, but think of not just Bethesda and Fallout, but think of Doom, Wolfenstein, Prey, Evil Within, Dishonored. I mean, and then you have Zenimax Online with Elder Scrolls Online. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. This was a massive acquisition for Microsoft, and I mean, they have 23 first-party studios now.
26
and
counting. There's more to come. Ink is still drying, and people laugh when I say stuff like that. Like, okay, no, I'm not. I'm not just wishing and hoping. I understand exactly why I named the dude. Everybody thought he was with giggles and hugs and kisses. Yeah, he's a silent assassin. If he has to move in a corporation with business partners that are actively trying to sabotage him, while removing those chess pieces off the board. Remember, he removed strategic pieces off the board, aligned himself with Satya, the bag man, got a seat at the large table, and now has the air of the real Microsoft, the company. So to let loose $7 billion, that lets you know that Fox $4 billion isn't the issue. What's the issue with that acquisition? Is more stuff behind there. That stuff will come out later. But it's a reason why this was done first, and that is a possibility. Yeah, I agree with that. I think there's definitely gonna be more acquisitions coming up. It makes sense for what they need to do in terms of bolstering Game Pass and driving content. Like, content's going to drive subscriptions for that service. Totally makes sense that they're going to buy even more studios. I can totally see that happen. I want to get the super chat before I go to the Ash and Luca real quick. Boogeyman with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Boogeyman. Says this opens the trifecta possibility. All of the Fallout devs under one roof: NXile, Obsidian, and Bethesda. Let's go. Well said. Maybe Obsidian can offer some tips, if you will, to Fallout. But do want to get one more super chat here. Replicant with the $5 super chat says, put the games to one side. Microsoft now owns id Tech 7 and future releases of the game engine. That is true. Well said. Luca, you are super excited about this purchase, obviously. Yes. What were your thoughts when you heard about this morning?
The first thing I want to say is Aurelius means golden. And Phil has been making golden moves. Like, honestly speaking, I woke up this morning, I'm like, minding my business as per usual. I go on Twitter for my, my little morning drama, no big deal. So I go on Twitter and I see, Phil Spencer. He's like, what's good? We're making major moves. We bought Zenimax. I'm like, oh, okay. No, okay, hold on. Let me go ahead and check this profile. There's been a ton of fake profiles popping up on Twitter, trolling people, tricking people. I'm like, let me go straight to the source. I'm like, oh, seriously? Microsoft and Bethesda? Like, you're joking, right? And it's not just the Bethesda thing, right? Because I think a lot of people are hyper-fixating, hyper-focusing on Bethesda. I understand. Believe me when I say that I understand, because I have been yelling about it since it came out. Fallout 76 has been a mess. It's a mess. Bethesda has made a lot of mistakes. I understand this. But it's not just Bethesda. We're talking Wolfenstein and Doom, baby. Wolfenstein and Doom, baby. This is major. This is insane. And you know what? Regardless of how Fallout 76 did, and how the fact that we've been waiting for a new Elder Scrolls game for years now, those franchises are extremely, extremely popular. Pretty much every franchise that's under the umbrella of Microsoft now, in regards to this purchase, those are all huge franchises, with the exception of the Evil Within and Dishonored, and Prey. But it's like those are franchises that can be built up into something else. And I am honestly speaking, I'm just blown away by the fact that they've made this purchase. I didn't think it was possible. I never even considered it for a second. And I think it's amazing. And I don't think there's any reason why this can be taken as a negative at all from anybody. And I see a lot of people trying to turn it into one, but it's like, dude, regardless of how you may feel personally about Bethesda or these certain titles, like, okay, I'm not interested in this, whatever, you can't deny the fact that these are popular titles that have huge fan bases. That's a fact.
Yeah.
So this is a huge move for Xbox. I don't know. They've just been doing everything right. And the fact that they've done this the day before pre-orders open, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, messaging has been such an issue for Xbox for such a long time. And I feel like they're finally, you know what? We know what we're doing. Don't even worry about it. Here, we're sitting at the table. Your move. And I'm just like, okay, Kings only. I like this. So I'm really, really happy about it. It's been really great. I'm not even entertaining any negativity today. Someone came through trying to be negative. I was like, don't even look at me. You're irrelevant. We don't even have to have a conversation. It's nothing.
Yeah. I haven't seen too much negativity in my timeline for the most part. I've seen J-Dub trolling a little bit, but that's what J-Dub does. But no, I think most of the reaction I've been seeing on my timeline has been pretty positive. Before I get
because you haven't seen mine. Mine is at probably like 30,000 views at the moment. So, you know, as per usual, when Xbox does anything outstanding, or Sony does something that I feel is deemed a video, or Nintendo or whatever, video games. When it's something that happens, I throw up a video or whatever. Mostly it's, you know, for Game Pass or whatever. But yeah, I get the PlayStation trolls that's on my line, and there's nothing to fear but fear itself, guys. I mean, absolutely nothing. Tomorrow the pre-orders go live. If you know Xbox can be your second system, make it your second system. Get Game Pass, throw it on it. It comes with Game Pass. Go to the All Access. Get that. It's only $25 a month. I know subscription services is really scary to you dudes, but trust me when I tell you this, they don't make a nickel over it. It's zero APR. Let me explain what zero APR means. That means there is no interest, none. Microsoft doesn't make a nickel, penny, a dime. Actually, they're losing money if you purchase it through All Access instead of going to the store and purchasing it and getting 2 years of Game Pass that you paying every month. It is actually cheaper than you think. So you get yourself the go get the $2.99 one, right? And pay the $25 a month. Make that your second system. If PlayStation is your system of choice, make that your second system. Just so you're not locked out of these fantastic games. Ash and Luca just told you Doom. Who didn't just like Doom?
Doom Eternal's no joke.
People are losing their mind off of that.
Yeah. It's a good game.
Come on, man. Yeah. There's no excuse anymore.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think, you know, look, if you're interested in any of these games, if you're interested in what the content that you know, that Zenimax or Bethesda Game Studios was putting out, you definitely probably want to consider picking up an Xbox now if you were before, or if you have a capable PC, subscribing to Game Pass Ultimate, you know, for access to these games. I mean, there's, you know, again, outside of Doom, I think of like Evil Within, Prey. I talked about this with B Money, like Dishonored 2 is one of my favorite games this console gen. A game that received a lot of praise, but didn't do well financially, didn't sell well. A lot of people didn't play it, but it's, I mean, B, you probably agree with me. Like the level design of that game is superior. The stealth mechanics are superior. It's one of the best games, stealth related games that I played this console gen. And it's a shame that not a lot of people got to play it because it's truly a great game. Arkane is super talented. That's the one out of all the studios they picked up today. Arkane's the one, and id Software, but Arkane is the one that just really kind of just pops out in my mind as, wow, they have Arkane now. That is huge. Arkane is super talented, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what Arkane does with the backing of Microsoft now, and not just the backing of Microsoft, but just seeing how these studios maybe kind of collaboratively work together, because we know that's kind of happening right now behind the scenes with some of the newer first party acquisitions that Microsoft has. Let me get the super chat real quick, and then I'm going to go to B Money. Evan Bourne Saga with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Evan Bourne. Says, I King. Remember when Phil said Sony, Nintendo weren't his competition, and everyone laughed at him.
Yeah, I actually remember that whole comment, and it wasn't to be a backhanded comment. It was actually where they are position wise, wallet wise. He's talking about moves and things that he knows where the company is going, and being on the forefront of change. They still use the same metric as units sold. When you're using that same tired metric, that metric is old. The new metric is engagement. How long you can keep eyes on your product. So I understand exactly what he was talking about when he said it. People laughed at him. Are you laughing now?
Yeah. JD Gamer, the $5 super chat, says there's a lot of pony contract being torn up as we speak. I believe Zaire may have torn up his pony contract. There's no way to damage control your way out of this. If you're a Sony fan, what's next, Microsoft? Yeah, look, even if you're a Sony fan, look, this to me, the other thing I like about this move is that it forces Sony to keep their eye on the ball. It creates a level of competition that, as gamers, we benefit from this competition. We benefit from these companies, pushing each other to put out, compelling content, and create services that benefit us. And that's what I want to see. I want to see competition in the gaming industry because we benefit from that. I'm going to go to UB Money. I know we talked a little bit about this in the BRAP DM today and a little bit before we went live, man. Like, you weren't surprised by this acquisition at all, right?
I was not. And I told y'all years ago that you can't complain about these acquisitions. You know what I mean? Once this first started happening, when Microsoft, started buying studios. So you can't be mad at this. You know what I mean? This was the start of the war right here. And I kept telling everybody, like, Microsoft started something. So don't be mad who they buy. You know what I mean? If they buy your favorite developer, you can't be mad. This is business at the end of the day. Look what has over the Microsoft position. They won. I mean, they acquired Insomniac. Now Microsoft doubled back and slapped them upside the head. You buy one of the biggest publishing firms in the game. You know what I mean? So you take some historic IP and put it up under your umbrella now. That's a major move. You know what I mean? This is a thing that I've been talking about for the longest time. Microsoft had to be aggressive. Yes, they purchased some earlier or some smaller developers in the past couple of years, but this is a major move. This is something that most people probably weren't expecting at all. We heard rumblings about them picking up EA and other major publishers, things like that. This is a big move, and people really shouldn't sleep on this. And like I said earlier on Twitter, as a consumer, you can't be mad at this at all. You know what I mean? Microsoft has made it easier for you to jump in. You can get at a lower price point console. You can enjoy all these games on Game Pass. Like, as a consumer, how could you be mad at this? You know what I mean? No matter what side you're on. At the end of the day, we're consumers. You know what I mean? You could wave your flag for whatever brand that you want to. But at the end of the day, we got to spend this money. And Microsoft has made it a lot easier to let you enjoy the hobby that you enjoy and at a lower price point. So, like I said before, this is something I expected. You know what I mean? Microsoft and Bethesda have been in bed with each other since the beginning.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean? They put out Morrowind on console with the first Xbox. Oblivion, was a huge hit for them on 360, and that launched literally right as 360 was launching. You know what I mean? They've been one of the major publishers who've put their games into Game Pass. And, earlier this year when you guys were talking about Doom, and I said, no, I'm not buying it. Why would I? You know what I mean? Bethesda has put every last one of their games that they've released in Game Pass. So I'll just wait for it to go there. Little did I know that they were going to buy them, and I was just going to get all the games anyway. So, I'm good with this acquisition. As a consumer, it's great for my pockets. I play, all my games in Game Pass. So it's a win-win for me.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. B. And what you brought up the point that they've had a relationship for a long time. It's something Todd Howard talked about when he discussed this deal. And if you go back to the OG Xbox, and I remember Morrowind, Elder Scrolls came out, and this is when I was, waving the green flag and console warring and in the GameStop
Switched over too early, buddy.
Nah, man.
I mean, like literally though. Like, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Enrique, because I do have to head on out. But I do want to say shout out to my my new age ponies. My born again PlayStation fans who were Xbox fans up until last year. You switched too soon. I'm sorry. No, you switched too late. You switched too late.
Goodness.
Like, maybe if you had done it 2 to 3 years prior, things would work out a lot better. But you switched over because you're like, listen, PlayStation's doing exclusives and Xbox isn't doing anything substantial, and we're just gonna have more cracked. You switched too late, and now I see you scurrying back. It's okay. I'm opening my arms.
My God,
Come back to us. It's okay.
You letting them back in, Luca?
I'm gonna let y'all back in because I'm a nice person. Okay.
I will let them in. I will let them in.
I'm gonna let y'all back in. It's okay.
Phil let them in, Luca. They let them in with their little TCLs and the lower price point so they can get it any way they can get it. Slide in under the door.
Leave it open for you. Yeah, and I it really cannot be understated. Like, I know some people are using the exclusive argument once again, but honestly speaking, my idea and my thought process is that I personally think that games are going to go up to $70 in general for this generation.
Yes.
And
I agree.
it really turns into, okay, these games are available on these other platforms, but it turns into do you want to pay 70 or do you want to pay 10 to have access to all of them? So it's really one of those moments where this is a power move no matter how you think about it. So
that's a great point, Luca.
So
I mean, like,
but I'll catch y'all later. I gotta go do.
Later, Luca.
All right, I'll see you guys later. Thanks
all right, Luca.
me.
See you. Yep. Take care.
Hey, you remember, Enrique? That was one of the things I brought up.
I remember,
when we were talking about the price hike going up.
Yeah.
And I said the reason why Microsoft hasn't, been kind of cagey on if their games are going to be, $70 going in the next gen is because they're really trying to push Game Pass. And it won't matter if the games are 70 because guess what? You're going to pay $10 to play our games.
They came out and let you know that peripherals is going to still say the same.
Right.
And they've been real consumer friendly when it comes to the new peripherals and your old peripherals. It carries forward.
Right.
Everything is all about inclusion. And, I may joke and I may laugh about the lower price point, but that was very key. It's very key in trying to get, because this is the first time next gen has ever hit at this low price point. Don't count the Switch because the Switch wasn't next gen. Don't do that. It's a Nintendo product, but it's not a next gen product. So next gen is at an affordable price point, and I can't talk about all access as much as it needs to be rung from every window, from every mountaintop, because again, my son wouldn't have got he doesn't even know that he's getting a Series S, because he has Game Pass. So, and I think his Game Pass runs out next year sometime. But if I buy him a Series S, that's 2 years. I don't even have to worry about that stuff. And then he's such a good kid that he deserves it. He deserves to be at next gen. He deserves to play Halo at the highest resolution that he can play it on at 60 frames per second. He deserves all that accolades that he will get, from his classmates and stuff like that for having it. I think rewarding children is a good thing. Not over rewarding them, but rewarding them. And this is a way of doing so with saving money. See, as a parent now, $25 for my kid a month to make him happy as hell, that's priceless. I will shell that out any second of the day. It doesn't matter. And, he partakes in Game Pass, and I'm saving such a ton of money. $70, all these new games, $70. Just imagine this. 2 games is $140. And that's not even with the tax, man. So you're looking at $150
or DLC.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
We're at a point where you can't look at the value and don't say, Sony, step up. Step up. I tell everybody all the time, if PlayStation Now had something like a Game Pass thing, and I do like what they're doing with the PlayStation 4 collection. I don't care what anybody says. If it's not up res now, maybe they don't have the back compat team to do something like that, and they need to get those guys like Gaikai to work on something like that, or try to poach Xbox cloud guys in teaching them how to bring those older games up to snuff. But Sony doing something like that will get me to purchase a PlayStation Now subscription, because then I can see the value in it. And you start doing date and day, and don't tell me the IPs is all so godly. They're not. They're games. They're $70 games. So if you put those IPs there, trust and believe. And I know Jim Ryan is watching. I don't care what nobody says.
Oh, of course. He absolutely is. He's like, wait a minute. Like, whoa.
He can make a ton of money. He's a businessman. That's why he did the reversal on you guys. He's a businessman.
King, they're pivoting that direction, though.
Oh, of course.
I mean, the writing's on the wall.
Of course.
I mean, it's only a matter of time, and I really believe it. I think it's only a matter of time before we see day and date. Like Sony, look, if they can get people to pay $15 a month to get first-party Sony exclusives, day and date, and they look at those reoccurring revenue numbers, of course they're going to do it.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I think they're pivoting that direction. B, we've talked about this a lot on BRAP. Like, we think that, look, I think you guys said this on ILP yesterday, King, that Microsoft, and we've said this on BRAP before too, and Eric always says, like, Microsoft's good at knowing where the puck's going, right? Mm-hmm. They did this, 20 years ago with Xbox Live. Remember that, King?
Yes.
Everyone was like, oh, I can't believe Microsoft put an Ethernet port in the back of the console. No one has broadband internet, right? Ha, 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 Microsoft, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what did it do? It laid the foundation for Xbox Live. And they were able to create unique experiences that you didn't have. That, yeah, I know. Sega tried it with the Dreamcast, but that was a little bit ahead of its time.
A little bit too early.
Too early, yeah. And Microsoft, like, I was one of those dudes that went out and upgraded my cable from 56K to broadband cable, so I could be an Xbox Live beta tester. And we had these great gaming experiences. And then, you look at that, you look at like Xbox Live, where it was 19 years ago and where it was today. I mean, just that move that Microsoft did, and a lot of people weren't, well, I should say a lot, but there were people out there that were kind of like looking at Microsoft sideways and say, what are they doing? Like, no one has broadband internet. Why would you put an Ethernet port in the back? No one's going to pay a monthly. And they used to say that. No, I don't know if you remember that, King, and B Money. No one's going to pay $50 because it was $50 a year.
Yeah.
Right? No one's going to pay $50 a year to play with your friends. And
we did.
And we did. And here we are 19 years later, and we're paying for it. So Sony's seeing this too. I think they're going to pivot. King, I didn't mean to cut you off, King, but go ahead.
No, it's the craziest thing. Just to piggyback off of what you said, Microsoft is always known where the puck went. If anybody has an Xbox One X right now, it does 120 frames per second right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
HDMI 2.0 or 2.1, 2.1 is built into that box. So if your TV supports it, go to I think before it was 1080p, 120 frames. Or if you have updated TVs like the CX,
like the TCLs.
OLED. Yeah, no, don't. See, I'm talking French to these dudes, but we're talking a different language. This is big boy talk to you guys, but listen, TCLs, I got you in a second. Don't worry, I'll bring it right back down to 1080p for you. Hold on, I'll bring it back down to smart TV language. Hold on. But that cable. Xbox One X does that now. And they were seeing the engagement numbers, because I was talking to a developer about it while we was there. And he said, this is the biggest thing about this box right now. He said, are you using it? I said, hell no. I didn't know. He said, "Do you have a TV to support it?" I looked at him with the face, but he don't know me. So I told him what television I had. He was like, "Oh yeah, you support it." So I went home and I double checked and I put it on and I was like, wow. And shout out to Lord Salvin. He hates when I do that. I brute force video games into doing stuff they're not supposed to do. Like when y'all put on game mode and stuff like that. He hates that. He's a purist. So when I found out they can do that, I realized that Microsoft has always been nudging the direction and nudging us in new directions and new frontiers and testing things with us. Sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't, right? But you always want to find that level of innovation in those minds inside a company. And not saying that Sony doesn't, Sony has pushed the single player game to movie quality. My game of the year, regardless to what happens at the end of this year, will be The Last of Us 2. And I can't tell you how that game affected me emotionally, mentally. For at least 2 weeks, that was the only thing that was on my mind. When I started the game was the only thing on my mind until I was finished. So I can understand how a lot of Sony fans will say IPs are king. But you have to realize, now that you're paying through the nose. See, this is the difference between the Xbox dude going to the store and a Sony person going to the store. They go to the store, and let's say both of them have absolutely nothing, right? You're just going to pick up your consoles. Let's say you pick up a headset, all right? Xbox picks up a headset. We're going to get the $500 ones, all right? So get the headset, get an extra controller if you're playing with somebody in your house. An Xbox guy leaves, and he's leaving with 200 games because there's Game Pass in that box. He's leaving. Don't talk about the consumer that came in with just $35 and leaving with the same exact stuff. Okay. Talking about those guys with equal money. The PlayStation guy has to come out of his pocket $70-something for Miles. Let me get Dark Souls.
Sitting there's $70 right there.
You're looking, when you're walking out the store, at upwards of $800 and $900. In this economic times, and we're talking about now, where financially, and let's not act like financially the world isn't hurting. Where's the value in that? There is no value in that. Video games is a hobby, right? So we can start treating it as a hobby and starting to go where the values are. We play games. This has over 64,000 games in it. This is a hobby. This is fun. The value is in this. But we have to stop putting these guys on a pedestal and start demanding more. You forced us to demand more from Microsoft. Well, damn it, $7 billion and 16 studios later. I think it was worth that demanding. Start demanding more. We need to see a Game Pass something inside PlayStation, and I want it yesterday.
Yeah. No, I hear you, man. I mean, you bring the value proposition up with Xbox and Game Pass right now. There's even more value. This is great. More value in Game Pass right now with this $7.5 billion acquisition. I can do the super chats real quick. We got JD Gamer. The $2 super chat says one ring to rule them all. Big bang, take little bank. Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
And then we have a super chat here from Gaming Forte with the $2 super chat. Thanks, Gaming Forte says, I love when the conversation is about games. Hashtag Xbox. And then we have Evan Board Saga with a $5 super chat again. Thank you, Evan Board says, this is a huge deal. Unlike the rumored WBO deal, Microsoft will own several IPs that have tons of merchandise and licensing potential, i.e. Minecraft. I actually like this deal better than the WB deal, the proposed WB deal. And then we have NV Dub with the $2 super chat says, both companies are competing. You love to see it. Absolutely well said. I want to go to you. Go ahead, B.
King something real quick.
Oh, wait. We got BG real quick. Hold on. I got to get BG super chat.
All BGs.
Yeah, let me get BGs real quick. Oh, wait. Oh, shit. I got a bunch. Hold on. I'm behind the super chats here. Hold on just a sec here. Oh, shit. Hold on. Hope I didn't miss any. All right, we got Predator H2O. What is that lie? What is it? Lion Ryan? What is that garbage pail kid?
Yeah, that's his new name.
What is that?
I named him Dan Smooth Ryan. His new name is Lion Ryan.
Lion Ryan. Wow. Predator H2O. What's up, Pred? With the $5 you think Sony has enough content to keep people on a subscription service? I mean, actually, I do. I mean, they have. We talked about PS Now, be money on BRAP a lot. Like they have what, like 800 games or something?
Yeah, they have plenty of content. They I don't know who runs that division and why they don't advertise it or why they don't try to promote it at all, but they have content and they have a lot of partners in the industry that could provide content. They just don't know how to, do anything with it.
Yo, BG, cut it out. Cut it out, Lion. You are not part of no TCL boys. Stop lying to your public. Stop. The TCL boys don't put $5 anyway. So stop. They put $1, maybe $2. Stop. You man, you real messy.
Yeah, big shout out to Broken Games HD with HDR with the $5 super chat. Thank you, BG, for the super chat. Appreciate it. It says sup rap, TCL boys in the building.
Yeah, stop that, man.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Yeah.
No, but I was gonna ask King, in regards to the whole PlayStation Now thing, he said that he liked the PlayStation Plus program or whatever that they got going on for PS5. Why do you think they went that route instead of just adding that content to PS Now?
I don't know what their metric is, right? Their metric is a little bit different, right? They have to treat their consumer a little bit different than Microsoft treats their consumer. Their metrics are different. They are more reactionary than you think. Do you see the bad press that Microsoft got? Mm-hmm. Whenever they do something, Sony takes a step back, and I believe that forced Jim to lie. When he saw the bad press Microsoft was getting with back compat, holding on to the next generation, I think that forced them to hold the truth because those games have been developed.
Right,
okay?
Right.
All those games were being developed for the PlayStation 4. And they had those ideas going into, he said 4 years from now. That's kind of deep. Pause. But I would have said, for 2 years or whatever. I believe God of War, all of that stuff was being, and you'll probably see Demon Souls come out for the PlayStation 4 as well later. Because other consoles. I don't think when they said other consoles, I didn't believe Microsoft. I believe the PC, and then I believe PlayStation 4 Pro.
PlayStation 4, yeah.
Right. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? If you have 120 something million people, I believe they're more reactionary and more afraid to lose a fan base. Because remember what they learned from the PlayStation 3. That they can lose. Mm-hmm. They were on a high from PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2. They knocked out Sega, People's Champ. They give Nintendo a run for their money and actually made Nintendo fold up shop with the Wii U. So they are the reigning champions. And then the PlayStation 3, the price point, the arrogance, slow start. Xbox comes in. Xbox 360 gets a huge jump. So the PlayStation 4 was a drastic different direction. And they did their due diligence. The same thing with Microsoft because they had this same Jaguar cars. These people shop in the same store.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, AMD's making their,
Yeah. We thought it was a cool when AMD got those two.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And Nvidia got Nintendo. I think that was huge too because they got some stuff going on over there if they will ever unchain that box. But these dudes really know. They're really trying to do the same thing, but at the same time do something different. Now it boils down to philosophies. And I believe Sony listens to their core group and don't want to lose that group so much that it forces them into a pigeonhole type of situation. So when people say the cookie cutter views of games, oh, over the shoulder, single player, same thing, I believe they're pigeonholed into that because that has been successful to their fan base. And when you start to cater to your fan base to that extent, the games start to look the same. Whereas Microsoft, remember, it was that first person thing, and it became the first person box. And the leadership changing in Microsoft led to all the different philosophies being known. Because under each different boss, it was different philosophies. Whereas Sony kept the same bosses for the large majority of their existence. So Jim Ryan right now is the new philosophy, and his philosophies are in line with stuff that Microsoft deems financially credible. So he would take his company, because it's in his hands now, in those directions. Little games on PC here. Let's see. Oh my God. Have you seen Horizon on PC?
No, I
It
haven't
looks
played it
amazing.
on PC.
Looks amazing.
I haven't played it.
It looks, yo.
I played Death Stranding on PC. That looks pretty good.
I'm not playing that game at all. You can
You
give it
didn't
to
play
me.
Death Stranding, King? No, nope.
You couldn't give it to me. You couldn't give me the game. That was his passion practice. That was his get back. That was his Kanye West 808 the Heartbreaks. That's God bless. Say less. All right, that's that, and I respect him
No
for
doubt.
that. But I'll play his next game. But you know, right now, Jim he's going to find his way how he's going to do it. And listen,
You think it's power struggle over there where he's trying to implement philosophies and they
no
trying to push him back?
No.
He got
Not
rid
now.
of everyone.
He's the axe man.
Yeah, right. I mean, like King,
He's still got to answer to somebody though.
Yo, he
No.
does. No, he's got to
Okay.
answer. He's got to answer to Sony Japan.
Okay, yeah. Okay, let me explain Jim's position. His biggest problem right now is Mark Cerny. That's his biggest problem, right? And I'm gonna tell you why. Financially, all he has to do is show Sony of Japan that he's making money, and Sony of Japan wants the old metrics, units sold. That's why they're always going to report that. Good. He can placate them. Now, as far as running the company goes and making money, that's their biggest money maker, right? He's going to do that. Mark Cerny might bankrupt the company. That SSD. Whose idea you thought that was?
Oh, Mark Cerny architected the whole thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, see, he made the PlayStation 4 very successful.
Right.
Hugely successful, right? So why not give him the reins? Go on, do your thing. So now you have the heat sink, which is crazy, the variable clock rates, which is crazy, and that SSD, which is crazy. Now, for all intents and purposes, you got to shoot for the stars. You got to be a dreamer, but you can't have the dreamer run the company because the dreamer head is always in the clouds. They almost did it with the PlayStation 3, bankrupt the company. And we're at the same precipice right now again. I don't know how he gets a handle on it, but how he can mitigate a lot of the bleeding, because one, the PlayStation Digitals is hiding. You're going to buy a disc-based console. We're not trying to lose $110 a box. We'll lose 50. We're not losing 110. Those will be hiding until they can get an established base, and then those will go out. Make sure the attach rate is high. Get these games on PC as fast as possible because we have to start making invisible money. because PC guys don't buy disc, they buy it digitally.
Mm-hmm.
That profit goes right back in.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get that money. Let's get those games over there. Let's start growing our PlayStation Now and our subscription services. Let's start getting this revenue back in. And let's see how we can pivot, lower the cost on these consoles, and let's start making this money. Because if Mark Cerny is left in charge, that SSD costs too much, and nobody but their own first parties is going to develop for it.
Well,
you see,
I was going to say something real quick. The interesting about think about the the cost of the PlayStation 5, and as I think about them, kind of pivoting with their messaging, right? They're not going to leave money on the table, right? They got that 120 million. You offset the cost of the PlayStation 5 with continuing the support of the PlayStation 4. I think that, and I think that's what's going to happen the next 2 or 3 years. Why wouldn't you do it, right? You have people that are consumers on that platform that are invested in your ecosystem, that are spending dollars. They know this. They see the metrics. They see the data. They see how much people are engaged, on their PlayStation Now accounts and how much you're spending. I will say this though, King. I disagree with you in this one regard. They aren't looking at necessarily units per sold anymore. We talked about this with Optimus Code like a couple months ago, and he said that changed. That metric really changed for the industry back like the PlayStation 2, because he said there was people buying that console for like watching DVDs pretty much, right? So so then how else can they gauge like how much money they're really making off of those consoles? They looked at engagement numbers, like when people signed online, or how much games they're buying, the attach rate, things like that. So both companies are looking at that metrics. But I do think, and I'll say this again, I really believe, and I think especially after this move today, the 7.5 billion, I keep thinking billion. And I do have one last question for you, it'd be money before we wrap up the show, but regarding that dollar amount. But I do think with that $7.5 billion acquisition of Bethesda, look, I think you're going to see Sony pivot probably sooner than they had maybe anticipated pivoting. I think it's already there. You could see it. It's as clear as day to me. They start putting these games on PC. You mentioned Horizon, King, right? They're going to start putting games on PC, I think, not like 3 or 4 years after these games release. I would say 6 months to a year. Who knows? Maybe even sooner. But, we keep hearing rumors that PlayStation Now is going to be something that Sony's going to even focus upon even more. Because, look, reoccurring revenue is very lucrative, as opposed to that, like, that one and done $70 title. I know people say, oh, well, it's not sustainable. It's not. Look, I get that conversation. That's certainly a business conversation. But me, Enrique, as a gamer, if Sony said to me, hey, for $15 a month, you get Sony first party titles day and date. I'm not going to say you can't do that, Sony. I got to pay that $70. No, I'm going to do it. I think a lot of people would do it.
Who cares if it's sustainable or not? Like, that's the wildest thing I've ever heard. I don't know what Microsoft is doing that's not sustainable. Oh, why are you worrying about their wallet? Why? That's a $40 billion company. Leave me alone with worrying about what's going on in their pockets. All I care about is give me your games. All right. And you know what's funny?
I think that sustainable comment was more of them looking in the mirror at themselves.
Knowing
that it is not sustainable for them. So they got to flip it.
Because they got to continue to pay a service that maybe they don't have that $15 that month and their lights go out. Listen,
oh my God.
I'm going to tell you the truth. Anybody crying about paying $15 a month, you got issues other than video games. And I think you should just worry about something else other than these games.
Oh my God.
All right. And that's why they want to buy physical, because you do know, there's nothing to stop Nintendo when I purchased this game digital. There's nothing to stop Nintendo from shutting down their service. Nothing. And that money I spent is gone. So when people say they don't want to play Game Pass because they don't own the games, you own nothing that you have digital. Absolutely nothing. If Sony decides to shut it down right now, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you from playing on live, that console is a console called On Live, where you would purchase your digital games and you would stream them. Those are streamed games. When the company closed, the company
Yeah,
closed.
I remember On Live. Yeah, I remember that. I mean, look, that was a service probably ahead of its time, right, King?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yo, B Money. I had probably like 5 games or something, man. And they shut down, and I tried to go log back on, and it was like error. Error. We got you.
Yeah.
It's lit over here.
Yeah.
They went to the islands with your money, King.
Yeah, they did.
It is what it is. But we got to stop making excuses for our poor habits in life.
Oh,
right?
For sure.
Because as gamers, okay, this is the very important part for all you people that's listening. Because this is going to reach millions of people, because I'm pretty sure that millions of people is going to get this rant. Listen, as gamers, we should be able to pay $15 to $20 a month to play 200 games. As gamers, this is a hobby. If you don't have $15 to $20 a month, you should not be in this hobby at all. It's a hobby. That's the best value. If you can go inside the arcade with only $20 to go in and play everything they had in there, we would have died as children to do that. So
we would have never left the arcade.
$20?
We would have moved in.
Yeah, right.
A month? And you just pay it in the beginning of the month, and you just come in. You can come in anytime you want. Man, listen. Thank you, Phil.
Had an arcade subscription, man.
I know, right?
Showed you ID, play whatever you want. Man,
We
we'd
died
lose our
for
mind. We'd lose our mind.
We're here now. We would have died for this.
Yeah, that's a great point. I gave the super chats, and then I do have to wrap up the show here in the next couple of minutes. But I want to ask one more question to you guys before we wrap up. Evan Board Saga with $5 super chat says, I don't think we will see Sony truly compete with Game Pass until Microsoft proves the model. Game Pass is a multi-year bet. The only Microsoft can afford to make. So, I mean, Sony's kind of taken that wait and see approach in the past. He did it with, when Microsoft released Xbox Live. All right,
Sony could compete if they had enough subscribers in their subscription. That's all it boils down to. If they took their content and put it there day and date, and let's just say they reached 10 million subscribers for $10 a month. That's $100 million a month. You take 50 million, you reinvest and put more games in there. And 50 million, that creates another game for one of your studios or part of it or whatever you want to do.
They're going to raise the price though.
Yeah, I mean, whatever they choose to do with it, you know what I mean? But I'm saying it could be done if they truly want to compete in that realm. But I don't think they're ready to do that just yet.
Yeah, that's a good point.
No, they got to start losing first. Let them lose.
They got to get stumped on, and then they, sometimes you got to get slapped upside the head to realize,
Microsoft
you doing something wrong. Yeah,
Microsoft got punched. They got punched in the mouth. They didn't like the way it tasted, so they came back big time. Yeah. Real quick, guys, before we wrap up, $7.5 billion. I keep throwing that out. $7.5 billion, right? A lot of money. Do we see Microsoft allowing some of these Bethesda game studios games on other platforms, or like I think Phil said, it's going to be on a case by case basis? But do you still see a situation where some of these games are going to be maybe on PlayStation 5 in the future, or is it just going to be like, you know what, it's only going to be on Game Pass? What do you think, King?
Hell no.
Oh,
whatever games that were allotted, because what was that game? Deathloop. That game needed funding, so Sony went and gave them the money to get the game exclusive. Fine, and that pays for the funding of the game. Good, and it's another game from them that they get for exclusive for a period of time. Okay, yeah. And that game looks really good. We covered it. It's on lordsofgaming.net. Go check out that interview with Lord Cognito and the team. No. I mean, those games that come to PC, if you want to play it on PC, yeah.
Best place to play,
Yeah, download it on Steam, and then play it on your X, play it on your S. But absolutely not you're gonna have to get down and lay down. And right now, you know, you don't want to give good news with bad news. So he gave you the good news and said, "We'll think about it." So when your parent tells you they're gonna think about it, is it? You know, when you say, "Hey Ma, I want to go on that trip to Great Adventures and it's $60," we'll think about it. You knew that meant no.
Yeah, that was the worst answer. I used to hate that.
Yeah,
I'll think about it.
That's when you walk away disappointed because you already knew what it was.
You already
There
knew.
y'all go.
All right. Okay. So you think these things are lockdown exclusives, never outside of PC? They'll go to PC, but nothing outside of that. Gotcha.
It's not anything. None of those games are in the vein of Minecraft, where Minecraft was already all over. Now you're gonna say, "Hey King, nah, Doom though. Next Doom is on Xbox. Period." How does that sound? Doom, new Doom in Game Pass or PC. That's it. You have to devalue the competition to the point that there's no reason to go there. Why would I even allow a game of that magnitude to be played on that box? And don't tell me just to show that it's superior visually. Half these dudes is playing on TCLs any goddamn way. All right. So the fact that they will never know the true fidelity of the game at all. So do not give them a footstep into the realm of Doom. It is over with the last one you got. Enjoy it, baby, because it's over. If you want to play Doom, the new one, you got to step it up and get over there. You have to learn how to take care of two households now.
All right, P-Buddy, man. What are your thoughts, man?
I think there is going to be two games for sure right now that will be on all platforms. And that's Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 76.
Well, that's similar to what King said, like a Minecraft type situation.
Right.
Yeah,
because
it makes sense.
I think I'm not sure about Fallout 76 because I never played that, but I know Elder Scrolls for sure. You know what I mean? You pay an online subscription to access that game.
Yep.
So I don't see them walking away from that. You know what I mean? No matter where it's at. So I think those two games for sure you will always be able to find everywhere else. But everything else, you know what I mean? It only makes sense for it to be locked up in Game Pass in the Game Pass vault. So you got to come over here to get access to it.
I agree with both you and King B Money. I think that outside of anything online related like Elder Scrolls Online or Fallout 76, I don't see these other games being on on the PlayStation. Obviously they'll be on PC and Xbox, but I don't see them being anywhere else. Maybe that changes. Maybe there's some smaller titles that come out. That maybe that Microsoft says, "Hey, we're going to put these on other platforms," but I just don't see it happening right now. I think you spend $7.5 billion. You're doing that to bolster your baby, which is Game Pass. And I'll leave the show on this note. I gotta get this super chat real quick. Victor Alstein with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Victor. Says Google and Amazon might reply with big acquisitions. That would be interesting. I don't know how much of unless they buy like EA or Activision, I don't know.
Let me tell you what Google is doing. Google is trying to buy studios and trying to show that that avenue could be profitable. I think they're not in the same time frame as Sony and Microsoft. They're in their infancy, so they're trying to establish a platform, establish their name, and establish companies. They're not going to keep bleeding money by establishing all those things before they become a thing. Right now, Google Stadia has to get a foothold in. They can't sustain the user base. The user base is not staying. So once people finish their initial, some of them are not ringing up. So they have to get that part first before they can do acquisitions.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I'll say this just before we wrap up. Microsoft's got a ton of momentum going right now in this generation. It is looking this might be, from a first party standpoint, the strongest position they've ever been in the 19 years that they've had the Xbox console out. And we're definitely going to talk more about this this coming Wednesday for our regular scheduled BRAP at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But yeah, what a day for news. I mean, just huge acquisition by Microsoft today. But I want to give a thanks to the Ashley Luca who joined us for a little bit. She came and hung out with us and made some excellent points. Please check out the Scumcast on Saturdays. And King, always a pleasure having you on, sir. You guys go live every Sunday. Now, you guys changing that because of football, right? You
yeah,
guys do 11 a.m.?
Yeah, we got to bend the knee to football at 11 a.m. or 1 p.m. when football's not in session. You can catch KOS this week. Me showing you this statue that's behind me that's spinning, that's on the carousel. That's Moon Knight. A new Disney show that's coming out with him as the star, and I'm going to give you a background on the character and explain more about that statue. You can catch me on Darth Castle X at 9 p.m. on Friday. It's open mic. That is the best damn statue show in the known universe. We talk about diverse topics and we go over the new statues that are coming out. So if you're a collector, are you interested in learning how to collect? We talk displays. As you can see, I got two different kinds of display units over here. So we will talk about sizes, and we will definitely talk about displays. And we will talk about how to care for your statues and a lot of those different things going on. So please check me out there. Like I said, Fridays at 9 p.m. That's DCX Open Mic. Catch me there, and also catch me at Iron Lords Podcast Sundays at 11 a.m. during football season, 1 p.m. non-football season, and go to lordsofgaming.net. That is our website arm where we have a ton of writers giving you up to the second news. I mean, literally the news goes up. We got it. It's there, and it's a fantastic thing, guys. Please go check it out.
Yeah, no, you guys put out great content. King, always a pleasure. Thank you for coming on again. I really appreciate your time. I do have one more super chat. Evan Board Saga with a $5 super chat says, after this acquisition, does Microsoft still need third-person action adventure games? No, because they have plenty of studios now that have put out actually quality action adventure games. So yeah, B Money, always a pleasure, man. Let everyone know where they can find you on the Twitter, sir.
Yeah, man, same name, B Money 101, everywhere. You can find me on 2K, man, because that's where I've been at for the past 3 weeks or however long the game been.
I hear you, man.
Did you pay their tax? Yes, you did. I know you did.
Come on now.
Come on.
You know I did.
Yeah.
It's you. It's you. and I'm gonna tell you, it's you. You know why I knew it was you? You know why he was bold enough to do that? And I said it on the show. I said because the person that buys 2K, when they walked in, they spend $400 anyway. Because they brought VC points. And I've seen it with my own eyes. A guy go in and purchase the game and say, let me get $300 in VC points. I was like, what the hell did he just say? And yes, he did. And I know when he got home, he had the new sneakers, the new jackets, or whatever the hell you did. I know your character is kitted out. Tell me your character is kitted out.
Of course, man.
See?
Man, I used to post my purchasing receipts of all the VC in the DM. But I stopped doing it because I think I got a little embarrassed when I spent it too much.
Wow. Yeah, I remember seeing that stuff. My jaw just dropped when B was posting that. So, gentlemen, thank you so much again for joining us. Big shout out to everyone in the live chat for joining us this afternoon. Remember, BRAP will be live this Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be discussing the big news of the day today, Microsoft's acquisition of Zenimax. We'll get into that a little bit more on Wednesday. And some interesting news as relates to Miles Morales and the Spider-Man remaster and how you do cross saves and stuff like that. So we'll talk about that on Wednesday. But King's laughing.
Sony fumbling and bumbling their ass.
Yeah, you know, sound like Don Matrix in front of the show.
All right. On that note, we are out. We'll see you guys on Wednesday night. 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Peace. Oh my God.